Hey,
Hey, what's
how are
up?
you doing?
I'm tired,
Okay,
but
well, I'm done with everything. That means you can outsource stuff to me now. No, I'm not
maybe,
kidding. Like I finished Winston's thing early because I just sat around during
yeah,
another meeting and just decided to finish. It's actually not hard once you choose stuff that's pretty easy. I chose the double Buddha statue in Berlin for
okay.
Zong. I actually shared that document. So
Yeah, I saw. I'll read it at some point.
I did went over like 2 pages, but I don't think you'll care.
Yeah, you probably won't care.
No, honestly, I got done earlier, way early before May 3rd. So if he doesn't have time to read my test, I'll cry. But
Yeah, I just spent all day doing archaeological science, and I'm finally done.
yeah, well, you have 4 exams still, right?
Yes, I was
Uh,
just trying to finish freaking
uh,
course content
yeah. Are these
because we
exams like
still have
unlocked
like
or
no,
locked?
they're locked
Oh,
until
so you can't even do those early.
no.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, anyway,
My one exam doesn't even open until May 3rd and closes May 5th. I'm like, awesome. Thanks for
oh, that's late, dude.
making me wait literally the last 3 days of school to do it.
Yeah, I'm lucky I don't have that. Like I could turn in everything.
Yeah,
But I mean, that doesn't mean I'm not busy because we just finished our Nada apps. We
I
still
know.
have
I saw
this.
that. I was like,
We
holy crap. Okay.
we still have this app. I still have to update all the new artists information, and then I have Edie's virtual solo show that we're going to work on,
Oh,
or at least
yeah.
I'm going to do that. Uh, the thing is, also we're going to have a digital show. Um, so I'll let you schedule with Tessa, Chen, and Melissa on that because you're gonna curate your own show, but also you're gonna do that group show because you said you like Tessa's work and
Yeah.
Chun's digital drawings, so that would be cool. The good thing is they don't have to ship the work. Um, they just email us the files and we'll print it off. So that
Okay.
makes it easier.
That's, yeah, that's true.
And then Marissa's going to be mailing her artwork from Uruguay to here. Uh,
That's going to be interesting.
the only difficulty is I don't know how we're going to do this, but she wants everything framed, which I don't know like how many pieces, but I don't think there's going to be that many pieces. Probably like 15, and they're like this size because they're.
Okay. That's not too bad.
We'll go to IKEA and get some, but they're office stationery. Like she drew everything on office stationery that she found. So I'm pretty excited.
Might look at Hobby Lobby too.
Yeah,
I go there
I
once in a while, and sometimes it's like if they have sales on frames, it's
hey.
good.
Hello.
Oh,
Hi.
okay. So you are dressed up like a mountaineer now.
True, because we're going to an exterior party and I wanted to make sure I have everything ready. I'm going to take it off right now, but we're going to be outside.
Nice.
So did you guys do like betting pools and all that, or are you actually just only wanting here to watch it?
Well, actually, we're going to do a betting sheet, yes. But honestly, I have not seen any of the films. I didn't have time to watch anything for some bizarre reason.
Oh,
But
I'm
I know
going
me.
to. So
Oh, yeah. Nomadland is great.
yeah.
So,
Well, Minari is our school because the guy that directed it went to our Masters of Fine Arts in Film at the U. So
really,
yeah, so we care is that movie. I don't. I mean, not that No Man Land's bad. Actually, I kind of like her to win, but honestly, we prefer our candidate to win.
my
So
son even critical of the Nomadland. He thought something was wrong with it, and but anyway, I don't know. I didn't see it, so I have to see it so I can
yeah,
decide.
Frances McDermott's in it from Fargo.
Yeah, she's great. I like her. I imagine she might win, right?
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it'll be good for Asian directors, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Are you going to actually eat anything at the party, or is it just snacks?
No, we're eating. She made a vegetarian chili. We do this for years. Like we have been doing this for many years.
Oh.
We the kids, and now all the kids are gone. So there's going to be I don't know, but today I don't know how many people are going to be there because of COVID. I think we're going to be just a small group. But one of the women is an actress in the group. She's not a super known, but she works a lot in theater. And the other people, one of my friend is the director of the film festival. That was called Slam Dance.
Oh yeah.
He started that, and so we're going to. It's at his place, and now he does Cinecause, which is he likes to promote movies that have a cause, like for some helping society. So it's really cool, and yeah, well, there's architect people. It's all mixed up. We're just hanging out. It's fun.
That's sweet.
But I don't know what to expect. I like your paper, by the way, Bryce.
Yeah,
I
saw. I did. I was gonna
Very nice.
respond.
You got an A, so.
Oh, you
Yeah, I did. I got an A. He graded really fast.
Well, I'm telling you, I would have given you an A.
Did he actually write any comments, or he just like give the letter?
He wrote a few comments. It wasn't
what did he
super
say?
long, but he said that he's like, this paper was really, really good. I really liked your arguments for the screens being paper, for the visual depth that you provided to make a point about the spatial division with the architectural elements and everything like that. So he said that he really liked the arguments and that they were convincing. So I was like, okay. So I was pretty happy about that because that's what I was going for. And
you should. It was really well. I mean, when I just scrolled through the text, I start reading and I'm like, okay. And then I was like, oh, I want to go check this out. And then you have the pictures and I'm like, oh my God, these little Buddha. And, I love that the motif of the clouds that comes back into art. So that was, and I had never heard of these capes. So I was like totally, and I studied. So I was into Buddhism for a while.
It's so cool. But yeah, so he liked the arguments and the things that I drew connections to, because he's like, I hadn't heard some of that before and it was new, and so but I was just trying to keep visual stuff that I noticed, because the clouds, they're so cool and fine, but it's almost exactly like Chinese writing and characters, and calligraphy. So I was like,
yep,
it doesn't even seem like it's really a stone wall when you look at that. When you look at those images, it does not seem like it'd be something on stone that's really hard.
Actually, they remind me of frescoes.
Yeah, but how did they do that then? Because that was in what year? 300?
Yeah, they spanned from 380 to 1000 AD.
But I thought that Buddhism, like the story of Siddhartha and Buddha, was created in 800. I thought.
I mean, I don't know. It's been around for a while. I think different stories probably have been incorporated at different times, but a lot of the things have come down the Silk Road from India, so I think they had different I think throughout the years it's just continued to change, but I don't really know the origins of Buddhism still, what time, but
well, I'm gonna check it out, but because there's something that I'm surprised about, but I might have the wrong time, so maybe it's muse off. I'm gonna double check that. And do you think everybody else is coming, Albert, because I can stay only for an hour.
Yeah, I can't stay too long either. I still have a lab and stuff I have to do for my class because finals are coming up and I'm getting slammed.
Yep.
But
it's only us. Where's everybody else?
I know.
Oh, I don't know. I think Alexis is busy, isn't she? Or
Yeah, Alexis is busy, but hopefully like Michael and
Did you contact
Patrick.
Michael? Is he still
I did. I
interested?
mean, he said he would accept it, but let me see.
All right.
Just see.
It's sometimes
him.
people forget. It's
Oh
like,
yeah,
oh,
let me text Michael. Really quickly.
I uploaded the video and the image to go with the video on
Yes,
board.
I saw
And
that.
cool. And so I was thinking that we can think about how this could be mixed with everything else. So we have to basically decide on the other what everybody else wants to do.
Yeah,
So we can.
because at least we got you pretty much.
Yeah, I'm pretty.
We've got
pretty
yours
good.
pretty well in a lane. Like we kind of have a direction and everything, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm happy because I didn't know that.
I will send an
like
invite to everybody.
But what I'm thinking about, well, let's see, because I mean, I could, instead of using the original, I could also print things. Let me go get a Kleenex. Hold on.
Yeah, actually, that will be fairly important. It's just the printing. Okay, I'll just send one. Oh, by the way, Edie, I did send a maquette for one of my art. So.
Oh yes, I did, but I was rushing.
Yeah, no worries. Just
no,
wait.
okay.
Oh yeah, Michael said he'll be joining. Okay.
So what is your maquette about?
It's.
I like the arrested and the like this. Is
Yeah,
it the styrofoam?
No, it's 3D modeling to design it like those reliefs in Greek and Roman history.
Very cool.
So
Very
it's
cool.
meant to be very heavily lit like that.
Okay. And the other one is called Beyond Cool. That's a real magazine. Oof,
Yeah, I actually have a collection of like 25 gun magazines where I'm just gonna. Yeah, well, I think adding the gun magazine will help show how fear is like weaponized. I mean, you have to understand, like I mean, there's a reason why I deliberately decided to unfriend, a person I was a friends for many years.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Oh, so that's the guy. That's your friend right there. Your ex-friend.
But yes, but you have to understand, like I have like 550 like FBI photos from that day, and it's pretty scary. I mean, it's funny
I don't think you need the picture of the gun. I think you just need that piece with
really
the arrested.
okay. I was thinking,
I mean,
just
to me,
doing the relief, but I didn't think I wasn't sure whether really the gun was gonna help contextualize it, because that gun culture. But then, really, I could just show the relief with just by itself.
But the relief, the problem with the relief that I have, which I think is very cool, the relief in itself, but if I know the story that this is your friend and this is a picture from the Capitol, but another person, how do they understand that?
That's what I meant. That's why I don't think they would. That's why I think adding the gun thing might help.
Yeah, but the gun, it becomes just the guy is arrested because he used the gun. It's not about the Capitol. Your story is about the Capitol, that this guy was at the Capitol. You need more like a sign about the Capitol. Like it has to be an image that refers to the riot itself.
Yeah, but then I don't want to make it too blatantly obvious, because I'm interested. I want to make it not just about the Capitol riots, but also like gun cultures tied to American fascism, which for me, I'm less scared of my friend trying to kill me, ex-friend trying to kill me, and more scared about the rise of fascism in the country. That, to be honest, for me is, I mean, that's actually what's the most worrisome to me, because I wouldn't be reading books like this if I weren't really concerned, So, and, that's a guy that is a I think a professor at Yale, but
I totally agree with that.
I mean, the worst thing is we get no electric. Oh, just wait. Oh, sorry.
Hi,
Patrick.
I'm sorry. Yes.
Hey, Patrick. Oh, okay. He might be just.
Yeah, he just joined.
By the way, Michael, I texted Michael. Michael's downloading. That's fine. No worries.
So what did he say, Patrick?
Oh, he has something else going on, so he's only here for 15 minutes, which is fine.
Patrick is here for 15 minutes, or Michael?
Patrick.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
yeah,
Yeah,
he's
sorry about
driving.
that.
Oh, Patrick, I just want to tell you something really quickly. I shared a Google Docs that you can actually edit and drop in
Great.
your
Already?
proposal. Oh yeah.
Oh, cool.
I made it
Okay,
really
great.
quickly.
Did you email that to me? I saw the
Yes, I did.
Office,
Oh my
Space
God.
Collective folder and everything.
It is nice to see my buddy,
Hey, everybody.
Michael.
Hello.
Okay,
Hey.
so let me check that Google Doc real quick.
Yeah.
I'll jump into email.
Hey,
Hello,
Michael.
everybody. Hi, how's everyone
Hi.
doing today?
Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful to get to see you in person.
I know, I'm happy to see you and everybody else. How's everyone doing today?
Well, it's
Good.
not been a good year for me, just so you know.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Well, it's funny. You graduated from PAFA. So my friend that I talked about, I don't know if I mentioned. So he graduated from PAFA in undergrad. He's under federal indictment, just so you know,
Oh my God, why?
because he was in Capitol riots.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
Well-
he's the only artist I know of that was involved. Apart
Well,
from
I
that,
hope everything turns out well for him.
I don't think so. I think there's a falling out between us too, but
That's not
it's
good.
really interesting that PAFA's adherence to tradition ends up politically I don't know.
Albert, if we only have 15 minutes, we should
Oh yeah,
totally
sorry.
phase this out because
Okay.
hi.
Yeah, let me
So-
share
Hello.
this document
Okay.
really quickly because Patrick has to go soon, but we can take. Okay, so here is the document right here in its infancy.
Mhm.
So that nothing yet, because that's why we're meeting, once a week to sort of hammer this out. We only have 2 parts to worry about. I think I will handle a lot. Bryce and I will handle part 1, which is the actual proposal of exhibition in detail. It's part 2 where it's a PDF upload of your exhibition proposal, where I kind of want to segment it by each one of the artists that's going to be involved here. So I'm going to, and I'll reformat this really a lot better. So yeah, there. So you can draw, you'll have to format this better than my really crappy. There.
Can you drop the link? That would be super cool.
Yeah, we'll do. Just wait. I'll make a shareable link. Okay, I will share that link into the chat so you can open it. There,
I see.
bingo. So you can actually edit. You guys are all editors. This is basically makes it easy. Obviously I'm gonna back it up just so we don't get any accidental erasings and stuff.
Mhm.
This is basically where you'll put your proposal. So we're sorry, Michael. So we actually already have some ideas. Edie can show you her some of her ideas. We actually have a Discord, just so you know.
Okay, great. I would love to see, and also I want to apologize for coming in a little late. I didn't realize.
No,
you
no
had
need to
downloaded on my phone.
apologize. You're pretty busy, I know. Sometimes you have dinner with your family, I think on Sundays, right?
Yes, that's actually where I'm at. But that's okay. I'm actually borrowing somebody's office, so that's okay. I have unlimited time. I'm here all night.
Oh yeah, I appreciate you're doing this. I apologize for doing the meeting last week without you, but
No. That's okay. That's totally fine.
Just wait. Let me shoot the invite for our discussion group. So we have
Mhm.
multiple ways that we interact, mainly because sometimes we're busy. By the way, I'm done with all my final exams, Michael. So I am done with
Great.
spring semester. I finished 2 weeks early. So
Amazing. Good for you.
well, I wouldn't say that. It's just me saying I wanted to get it over with.
I don't blame you.
Well, also you know, tomorrow I'm getting vaccinated. So just in case like I get knocked out, like Rocky punching my butt. I don't know
Which
how I
are
would
you
react.
getting? Which are you
No,
getting?
it's either Pfizer or Moderna, so we'll find out.
Okay. I got my first Pfizer shot.
Okay,
I'm getting
here-
my next one on the 5th.
Okay, here, Michael, is the Discord channel
Great.
where we're
Thank you for
actually
sending.
discussing, so you can actually see the proposals and
Mhm.
stuff. How many images? We have 7 images that we got to select. Due date is, I think, August the 1st, but I
Mhm.
want to make this July, maybe 1st to 15th, because we have a long time. So I
Mhm.
figured we can get that floor plan available.
Isn't it just kind of a square space of like
very
100 to 300 feet, right?
Yeah,
Because
it's just going to
we
be,
whatever we decide we need, right?
we will pay accordingly, but I think space, I kind of want to go the second route, which is 300 square feet, maybe? I don't know. Yeah, or 100. I don't know. The thing is, I don't know what the pricing is going to be like. So can we map it as a square? Yeah.
Yeah, like if we do
Possible.
a draft of the floor plan, it'll be like rectangular or whatever.
Yeah, I think,
Square, rectangle,
Yeah.
like a
think
booth kind of thing.
yeah, I think we're going to do, our model is this 15 by 20 foot thing. And
Yeah, like the proposal can't be site specific because we probably can't look at the spaces that are available, right?
Yeah.
no, this is
Plus from the
actually,
video, it looked like they just measured out their spaces by like tape on the floor almost kind of.
Oh, okay. So it's like a big industrial space and then they divide it up.
it's very DIY.
Yeah.
Michael, I'm afraid this is going to be a very interesting challenge for you, because how formalist are you in your presentation?
I'm flexible.
Okay, some artists are very strict on their presentation. Just recognize satellite is kind of amorphous.
I know. I
So-
was doing some research.
And yeah, it's very amorphous, you know, so it's kind of like we show up. I don't know if you want to bring, like, what work you want to bring.
Gonna
Whether you want to
feed in.
bring your drawings or your works in paper, or whether you want to do your sculptural paintings that were
Well,
in map.
I had kind of figured that depending on like the limitations of the space, I would maybe just try to like make something entirely different.
That's perfectly
Um,
good idea.
Yeah, I mean probably in the style of the wood-based work, just because I feel like it would make so much more sense if I was going to go the sculptural route. So yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna, once we have an idea of what the space is going to be like, and you know where we need to plug something in, maybe trying to make something to fill that space. Just trying to stay flexible.
Yeah, the thing is, depending on the amount of room, we can't really fit, like, here's what we have. So this is Madison's thing that is originally from Nada House.
Let's see.
We probably, yeah, I'm showing this in our Discord.
Oh, okay.
You can join, but
I cannot see it. Where should, are you sharing your screen of Discord?
yes, I am. Yeah, do
Okay,
you see it?
why do I'm seeing only the duck? I don't know why.
Me too.
Oh, let me stop
You're on
share.
you're maybe on
Oh.
another page.
Okay, let me share a different one. Yeah, that's probably why. Here we go. That's probably better, right?
Ah, I see.
Yep.
Yep. So you can see where Madison, this is the Nada House. This is actually sort of a vague governor's house room that she modeled. And I think that will take I don't know, depending on the scale, maybe 6 feet by 6 feet or so. So this is what so Edie's proposal was to do a 2-channel video, one of which one would have sound. So we had to figure out how to
it's there.
project and everything.
Yeah, just, you can go down, it's right there. I loaded both. There you go. Those are the 2 videos.
And
These
also
are,
the original. We were thinking about possibly putting up the original works alongside as well.
Mhm.
and messing
Although-
around
Which-
with
which is also
different
there if you-
mediums conglomerated together.
I mean, if we were truly naughty, we could pull the Merlin Carpenter route, where like 2 years ago, he actually at Rena Spalding's just left like 8 to 10 blank canvases, dumped a bunch of paint in the middle, and told people do whatever you want your art. So we could make it like you could just have the participants just draw whatever on top of these. But I don't know whether that would destroy Edie's original intent by making it interactive with the public.
Maybe just to help Michael catch up is that the videos that I uploaded are two videos referring to the melting of the permafrost. And it's I made a link between my practice of drawing with charcoal or watercolor, and I juxtapose image of the permafrost melting. And I have a little character that's flying in the air like a superhero that's supposed to maybe save the day, but there's no sound. It's just sounds of charcoal on paper, and it's simple, very slow drawing and the permafrost image that are interstices. And these image that he's showing you are image out of the video basically, but I have the original piece of the drawings. So these are image of the video where you have like a guy underwater under the glacier, and then you have the little character flying by. So you can watch the videos, they're uploaded on Discord.
I would
so
love
you can,
to.
on Discord, you can just play them and watch and see, and they're two different lengths. So if they played together, they would never be at the same place at the same time because they kind of reply to each other. So so that's basically the concept. Is about the permafrost, and the way we did not discuss how we would present any of this. Like we just said, okay, let's use that. But then we, like right now, Albert is proposing maybe participation of people. We didn't talk about this yet.
No, that's that part we didn't. I mean, the thing
Yeah.
is, I don't know whether we
Well,
want that
Again.
because that would defeat the purpose of what we're trying to. By the way, just so you know, Michael, the theme we're trying to aim for is about climate change.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
But-
so it's very environmental.
Yeah,
Great.
because Madison's dealing assuming if she wants to do this piece, it was dealing with about Governor's Island and colonization, and just the water usage around Governor's Island. Patrick, obviously, his performance work and installation work is very much embedded with the environment and just a lot of ecocrism. Also, Patrick and I are collaborators on various other projects too. So we're actually doing a photo series inspired by Kim Stanley Robinson's science fiction novels, which is pretty exciting.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I know the reason why. Also, I'm very excited too, Michael, because I mentioned we did want to have your work in the art fair. I know I mentioned that very strongly, and we're very glad this is our golden opportunity. So I know you and Madison have experience in furniture making or something to that effect. And Madison had training in Scandinavia, specifically on building furniture. So I think you both obviously are also looking into sustainability and materiality, which I think are part of your art practice, which I think would tie in very well to our themes. So
Yeah.
there'll be like a cross dialogue between you and Madison, and then Edie and Patrick would have this. It's sort of like an X type of thing.
I totally see what you're saying.
But maybe I'm just nuts, or
Well, no, I
Bryce
mean
might
that would be
need to
that would be great because part of talking about environmental issues is also solutions and ideas for sustainability, because obviously we have to do a lot of things still to run society. We've kind of made ourselves rely on a lot of things that aren't very environmentally friendly. So how can we adapt those things that we rely on to, instead of hurt the environment, help the environment? So I think that's a perfect conversation.
Yes, well said. I agree with that. very much. And also, I think it's for catching up for you, Michael, is that the only thing we came up with so far, but it's not, set, is that we were thinking maybe of using like a tent structure for the space. But we didn't discuss it more than that. But because there's a lot, if you look at the video from the satellite from last year,
Yes.
there was a lot of, it looked like a Medina of like a market with all these different tents and crazy stuff happening. So we thought it would be fun we could engage in something like that.
I love that idea, because also, since you're thinking about projection, I think it would be a great way to contain the projection, as well as to not allow it to kind of affect other booths or other artists. But yeah, I mean, I think we would, that's definitely a great idea that we should think about.
So
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. So yeah, this might actually potentially involve you, Michael, working outside of your usual domain of practice or integrating it, and that's up to you. Obviously, we're not going to like surmise what you want to do. That's what the proposal's for, but it's up to you whether you want to make this exploratory, completely like very different, or we'll integrate whatever you want. So we're pretty excited regardless.
Good, and I would love to bounce some ideas off of all of you. Maybe, I mean, that's what the proposal is really for, to write it out. But Albert, if it's okay, if I can send some stuff over to you, and
and then also you can CC us as well, like Edie.
Of course, yeah. I
Patrick,
mean, in
and
the
Madison.
Discord as well.
Yeah, Discord would be the best place, because then we could share these ideas. And the thing about it is, this is a very difficult proposal, more so than our NADA ones that we just finished. Because the NADA ones are solo individual artists, which it's still a lot of work in it. Don't get me wrong, especially because it was hitting around final exams. But this is like going to require coordination, because I think one of my sculpture professor said something that was, I think, pretty important. She says, it's very easy to create a mess, but it's another thing to create a mess which actually has a rationale or the ability to be critically interpreted, because we could just toss all you guys into there and call it good. But I think we
gotta have an intentional mess.
It has to be fine-tuned, a very fine-tuned mess.
Yes, because it's kind of the thing in, I think the videos, the walkthroughs of satellite 2 years ago, I think some people just threw stuff together, but there was actually some that I thought were superbly like looked into the confines of the space, because it's the Pfizer building back then. I don't know, it could be something new this year, but I mean, there were top end people there. In fact, one of the guys was an African-American artist who's actually a retrospective right now at UMFA. So obviously, this isn't like a complete DIY thing, but I'm just really excited, because I just wanted to float to you. You can do whatever you feel like at this point.
Well, let me ask you. I mean, having seen my work and kind of understanding I mean, you're obviously considering the relationships between me and other artists. What is your kind of like? What does your imagination put out for my work in this? Like, where would you like to see me fit in? What branch of my work would you like to see me utilize for something like this?
I was really looking into like your idea of your sculptural like paintings being integrated. And in fact, I would say if you're in dialogue with Madison, they would sort of be the backdrop to her gargoyle, because her gargoyle is going to be on the floor. And I was thinking about putting that in the corner with potentially your pieces behind, but then you could somehow seamlessly integrate that, assuming that that's what she wants, with the installation that she has. And I think it would be cool, because her installation, she's probably going to prefab a lot of it, but a lot of it we're also going to have to build on site, for sure. But I think that would be great, because there's that dialogue about materiality, since both of you have very strong experience with the sculptural.
Okay, that sounds great. And I mean, I think maybe I should hop into the Discord and maybe we can take a look at some of the work that I've already made, just so that I have a better idea if I were going to go and make pieces specifically for this installation. I would kind of like an idea of what people are looking for and what people are interested in. That way I could kind of focus in on that, on exactly that.
Yeah.
I just
But-
want to make sure that I'm fulfilling the role in the context of the whole. And I want to
Oh
make
yeah,
sure that
I think so, but also I think this is a chance for you to explore like a theme that may
Mhm.
not be the most obvious
yes.
for the viewer, which because your work is so tied to materiality, but also like that history of craft. And it's interesting because craft is also, having lived in Pennsylvania, it's a very tenuously difficult relationship because you understand, like Pennsylvania is very divided as a state. I'm not
Yes, it
kidding.
is. It
I
is.
mean, not kidding. Like, I had a difficult time. Like, I love Philadelphia, but there's always this tension because Philadelphia is like 50% African American.
Mhm.
It's a very urban center. But then as soon as you hit outside on SEPTA into
It flips.
it's like completely like you enter into a world which is very pro-Trump, very much tied to nostalgia. And your work is not like overtly political, but the idea of craft is there. I mean, you make allusions to like Pennsylvania Dutch furniture. There are these overtones, but yet it's also subverting that as well. And I think it's interesting too, because I haven't been in Pennsylvania in a long time, since like 2004, but I suspect there's a lot of climate change in there. Probably, I don't know. I suspect there's a lot, and maybe a lot of things have changed because I think it's probably more polarized than when I left.
Yeah,
Philadelphia.
it's very polarized right
Like
now.
I wouldn't be
especially-
surprised if there are people that just don't think like climate change thing. I mean, I knew it was bad back then, but not to the extent where, oh my gosh, it's like, and there's just been a spate of violence, like terrible violence. I mean, how many shootings have we had during the past 2 months? That just is terrible.
Yeah, it's madness.
But I think your work adds in layers of that historicity that's tied to materiality. And it's interesting because you have a lot of training because you went to PAFA in the idea of formalism, but yet you walk completely away from it as well, which is a very
Yes.
brilliant. So I like it because you have that embedded tradition, but also that defiance against it, which I love your work for that. And it's very
Oh, I
brave of you.
appreciate that.
Yeah, that's why I think your work's very brave. It's also important because I'm going to be interesting because your work and Edie's work is like, if people superficially look at it, they'll think, it's just very traditional looking. But that means they didn't look hard enough, in my opinion. And I think that's important. And I think maintaining that illusion that you want people to like return back to it again, if they only superficially engaged with it initially. Actually, to be honest, I mean, it's interesting because your work also, because they're just the painting as frame, makes it really fascinating. Because again, it's that reversal of the relationship. And I think the thing about it also is, it's also a defiance against the way our like nation now is caught up with mass media, with disinformation. Like people just now superficially believe anything. They don't really take second looks anymore. And so your work being embedded in idea of critical thinking and illusion, I think helps to now relay more depth, which I think is really imperative.
I'm also really thinking a lot about the absence of image, especially in painting as well.
Yes.
Because I mean, I don't know, I don't really believe that abstract expressionism really has much to say about the absence of image, because I do feel like they absolutely are images. And even some of like Robert Ryman's paintings, I feel like are very much so, they're images, they're paintings. And I think that my work, at least in the sculptural painting area, is at least trying to address the absence of image.
Well, actually, I want to also bring up one of my favorite all-time painters is Magritte, and God only knows how many of his paintings are about the implicit absence of image. Female, back to the viewer, examining, and there's a frame, blackness, the void. So there's allusions to that depth of art history. But the problem is the average viewer, even if they know Magritte, isn't going to bring that connect. So unless you're like, have this astute observation, like, you know, I tend to try to bring these things together. And so that's why I really think this might be fairly potentially controversial, not displaying your paintings on the wall, but displaying your paintings in front of Madison's piece, that frames that you can see Madison's pieces.
Oh, I see.
Sort of
I
like
that idea.
Like, you know how Duchamp, you are very lucky because you got access to all the kick-ass works of Duchamp. I think there was
I mean,
his
I was
final
actually
work.
just having a conversation with an artist who lives over in Bryn Mawr. I was actually going to be helping him with some land works, and he's like the biggest Duchamp fan. Like, he wants to be a Duchamp scholar, and he and I today were talking for at least like 25 minutes just about how a majority of the Duchamp work is actually at the PMA, and how I think maybe MoMA has like a couple few pieces, and maybe there are a few others, but for the most part, there's a lot of Duchamp in Philly.
Yeah, actually, it was ironic because when I addictively make my weekly ritual to PMA, I appreciate Duchamp, but not as much as now. I think I'm going to go visit Philly just because I need to really revisit. My tastes have changed a lot, but I was really more a Cy Twombly fan, which was like kind of bad because I love, as much as I like Cy Twombly, I think he's still very much tied to abstract expressionism. But
yeah,
really,
I did some writing about Cy when I was in graduate school because I was very conflicted on the way that I felt about his paintings, and even something about his work ethic to me really, I don't want to say it was like bothersome, but yeah, he's a strange character. But I totally see the why
but he's
you
a
were
very traditionalist. Cy is a very traditionalist, despite I think he was radical in visual language, but very arch conservative in thing. In fact, you could argue maybe even potentially fascist with his glorification. I know that's controversial, like interpretation, but I would say because he validated Grecian and Roman history at the expense of every other narrative, proto-fascist in that sense. So my tastes have changed. I think Duchamp definitely and Magritte are actually surprisingly, visual language is traditional, but super radical. I mean, first of all, Magritte was a card-carrying communist. So there's no doubt. It's kind of ironic too, his collectors are not that, the opposite. But it's interesting. And I think that's what your work is that because of the craftsmanship, it has the illusion of like, you think it's tied to tradition, but no, it's really subverting it because you're looking at the circumference of the piece and actually not display on the wall and bring it away from traditional picture plane. But
and I like the idea. I like that you called it a. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Come finish that because I want to add something. You finish.
No, I love the idea of you use the word portal because I really feel like when I was in school, a lot of people talked about painting as portals to other worlds, but I always kind of wanted to subvert that and have the painting be like a portal into the art viewing space. And that's why so much of my work has negative space where it literally just appears as a frame, because I felt like a portal to another world in a way to me felt like it just felt like there was already so much there in the art viewing space to be addressed that you didn't need to create an entire new world. You could literally address what was right there. Like if you read Inside the White Cube, the essay, they were talking so much about how the art viewing space feels so much like like a church or a courtroom. It feels very private and very, very special, and people are very typically quiet in the space. And and I just feel like the space itself, you don't really need a portal to another world. You should just maybe have a portal to the physical space. And I like the idea of having, something that creates a portal into Donnelly's work. You know what I mean?
I think that's a very wonderful interpretation. And I think that's perfect. Your critical explanation there is perfect, because I really think, that's what makes your work fairly radically beautiful, is we can actually have it as the actual portal, and we can lift it away from the picture plane. Because
Mhm.
by doing that, then the viewer is only going, and we're going to put it like, we'll probably talk with Madison, but I would love to put it right in front of Madison's piece. That way, I mean, we just have to figure out how you were going to hang it. That's the other.
I think it might even be better to have it be a freestanding object instead of hanging it. Because at least if it's a freestanding
That's what
object,
I would think.
Actually,
like
that would
that,
be
I
even
like that.
better. So how do we actually
What if
get
you
it from the
you had a
floor?
big freestanding object that people
Mm.
had to actually physically move through to get in if we decided to do a tent?
that's what I'm thinking too. The only thing
Ooh.
is that it would
Nice.
have to be something that would come in pieces, so it would be easy to transport.
And then
And
you'd
so it
have to
might
throw
be
it
all hands
together
on
on
deck
So
to get
they're
it together.
forced to walk in our booth
Yeah.
through your work. That would be brilliant. Actually, I
And
love that.
That's not
fun.
something that's a new idea for me either. I was making smaller sculptural pieces that I was painting, and then I was tearing up canvas and stretching it around the actual structure, and I was making them maybe the size of my torso. And my partner, she was like, you really should consider making this enormous so that people would be forced to walk through the piece, because I was talking about the painting as the portal, and she was like, well, maybe you should just make it a physical portal.
Yeah, make it a real portal.
Now,
Oh,
That'd
that's
be
so cool.
insanely cool.
now, would it be a far stretch to even sort of, and I'm not going to say visually do this, but are there overtones, say, with like the idea of portals in science fiction, like Star Trek, or like time, like wormholes and stuff like that? Or is that
Why
just
can't-
getting way
could it-
too off base?
Could it take us to the permafrost? Like, could it be like a
Yeah.
portal to link the space where we're showing the exhibition and
Mhm.
the real true space of where the permafrost is melting in Russia? And because I think people don't think about the reality of it, so they don't have a concept. But if we had a portal that takes us there, it would
Yeah.
be very cool.
Well, and you guys are all working with a lot of time-based things anyway, so a portal already kind of delineates time on its own.
I like
Your
that.
videos are time and show melting. Madison's actual fountain piece is like movement and time, and I shot an idea to her, but we'll see if she wants to do it. But the idea, if she does like one gargoyle looks like it has ice, the other has actual flowing water. I'm not sure if she'll do that, but like there would be a lot of passage of time functions, so I think the portal would fit in very well with that.
Are you guys familiar with Fabienne Lasserre?
I don't think so.
She was a professor that I had at MICA, and all of her works are freestanding, and they're very much so paintings. Maybe I can send a link after we're done once I get into that Discord.
Yeah.
But her works are I don't know if I would consider them portals, but I think of them as portal-like, because a lot of the actual sculpture, the structures, they're very thin. I don't know how else I could explain them aside from that they are like a piece of circular metal that comes out of a base in the floor, and then she almost paper maches canvas and does several layers of paint, and then there's a film.
Nice.
And you can see
Ooh.
through the film, but it's a tinted film, so it kind
Can
of
you
creates
put
a
her name in
separation
the
of.
chat? Can
Yes,
you put that would be great.
Yeah,
Sounds
we'll also
fantastic.
get a link to her in Discord for future reference.
Hold on, I'm
Yes.
going to pull up her Instagram, and then just so that I can make sure I'm spelling her name correctly.
Yeah,
She was
thanks.
also a great teacher as well. There we go. It's Fabienne Lasserre. Hold on. Maybe I can send.
Thanks for sharing that.
No problem. And I'm thinking more of like an archway as a portal.
Yeah.
If maybe I could make something. I mean,
Yeah.
what are the sizes we're having? I mean, I guess it'll depend on like what
The booth that
size
we
space that we
decided.
get.
Well, we're gonna draw everything for 15 feet by 20 feet.
Okay.
But actually, let me look at the application again. Sorry, I'm kind of disoriented because I've been plugging away at final exams and applications, so it's been kind of a little fun today. Let's see.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out how to get to the chat there. There's the
Okay,
chat.
we have 100 feet, 150 feet, or 200 feet. So maybe we'll
Square
do.
feet, right?
Yeah, maybe we'll do the 200 square feet. it depends on costs, I think, because I know they start at 750 for the booths. And then if we go, and the thing is,
how's the space being funded, if you don't mind me
I'm
asking?
paying for it. So
Okay, well
it's-
that's amazing and very generous of you.
that's not cheap because I'm a
Yeah, it
student.
is not.
So, I mean, let's just assume that we do 100 to 150, just on a more conservative. So it's easier to scale up than to scale down. So let's
Mhm.
do maquettes for 10 by 15 or 10 by 10, actually. Now, if you're going to do the arch, recognize
Or a
that-
portal, about how big do you think that would really have to be, realistically speaking, just so I can get an idea of what my budget is and what
Let's
my
see. So we do 10 by 10 by 12. Yeah. I mean, it depends on how high. They don't tell us that. So that's the problem. We kind of have to work.
Yeah.
So
Maybe that's better. I'll just stay a little bit more.
200 square feet's like 14 by 14, give or take.
well, it may not be square. Like it's most likely
if
if we
it's
do 200
square,
square
but if
feet.
it's not, then it'll be. If it's a rectangle, then it'll be different. But
Yeah, we may have to have it modular in a way that it implements different dimension.
that's why I'm just thinking about transportation. That's my only thing, because I can make something that would be 10 foot by 10 foot. It would take a lot of time to make. It would take a lot of paint. But my real question is how do we transport it? How do I transport it, really?
That's going to be the huge
Yeah.
thing, because
it would end up probably needing to be in pieces, I would imagine.
well, it's definitely
and
going to be
that's
in
another
pieces.
thing, is that if
That's
it's in
gonna be
pieces, that's
rough. 'cause
fine.
Then
I mean, if
we
you
have to
were
set that
if
up
you were
on
insane
site.
like Madison, you would go to Lowe's in New York and get the materials there, and then we transport it and then build. But that would be difficult because you have very exact details. Unless, I don't know, can you do woodwork on the fly?
I mean, if I'm doing that, I'm also bringing the entire wood shop with me. So at that point, it would probably be
Yeah.
easier to just
Yeah.
make it at the studio,
That's what I
and
meant.
then transport it over, maybe like, depending on how big the pieces are. I mean, I could fit up to, I believe, like 6 feet into my car, but I'm thinking more along the lines of like a U-Haul might be necessary, like a small van or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm just firing off ideas. I mean, I really kind of want to brainstorm a little bit, and maybe we can talk about it in the Discord to see what's actually realistic,
Yeah.
Definitely,
But
because we don't want to get too
definitely am
ambitious
thinking
either.
freestanding is nice.
Yeah, I think
I
freestanding.
was
Okay,
gonna,
sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was gonna say that I think it's great to have the portal idea, but if it's a question of visibility and cost, whatnot, I really like the idea of just having a freestanding piece that is like it can be totally different size, and it could be super strong. Because I think that if let's say it's in front of Madison's piece, and then I have my installation for the video, it would be interesting to have like a certain relationship in format between the video screens. If they're screened and not projected, that's another discussion we can have. But if there could be a relationship in the way that the works behave between one another, like there's a conversation in size between Michael's work and my work in terms of format, like that.
Yep.
They almost like there's, because it's such, I really like, Michael, that your work is imageless, like that this is what you're talking about, and I really see it with everything you've been describing. I really get it, and I really think it's very powerful and discursive and fun. So we could also go in the direction that the freestanding piece would totally work as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think either way, like a freestanding would be sweet. So
Yeah.
it'll just be whether we decide on, I guess, having a big portal kind of arch entry, or if we just have more of a freestanding sculpture that can still interact with all the rest of the windows.
I think we're going to lean towards the
images, and
freestanding sculpture.
I
because,
agree. I
Yes,
think it would be
thing.
way more realistic.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's nice to build something like super life size, but I mean, also, you know, when you think about it, one of the most famous portals is Alice in Wonderland. That's not a very big portal.
Mhm.
So, you know, you don't have to make monumentality as part of the equation necessarily, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, you're familiar with my work a little bit more. I mean, I usually air, I usually like to keep it like torso sized in my work. I just feel like it makes it much more of like a, I think it really activates the body a little bit more.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But
I like that.
yeah, but
Mhm.
I like something that you can pick up and it's the size of your torso or something like that, or something you could put over your head even. I don't know. I'm interested in that idea of the freestanding sculpture and still activating the human body.
Mhm.
But
That's good.
we'll see. I think we should
I mean,
speak more.
the
I think we
question
should all
is,
continue to
do we
talk.
need to be able to fit? The question boils down, do we need to be able to fit the average human body size to that, or whether they can just simply peer through it?
I think peering through it would be just as effective if I could do it well.
I that's what I meant. I don't really think you need to fit like Bryce through that, for example, you know? I think even the act of looking is already so sufficiently powerful that it will activate what you're trying to do. You know?
Oh yeah, especially if it's freestanding and it stands and the actual space that you look through is at head level. That would be another way of activating the body, is that you're walking up to it and you're actively seeing through it without crouching down or getting on your tiptoes.
Yeah.
Fun. Very fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
How big is Madison's piece? Do we have measurements?
No, it was just the complete proposal. My suspicion was going to be 6 by 6 by 6, I guess,
Okay.
which isn't like supernaturally big. But I mean, you can see from our diagram, it was going to be like the size of a kiddie swimming pool for that section. So maybe 6 by 6 or 8 by 8 by 8. It was not like super monumental in that case.
We'll
Okay.
need to
If the
make
room is at,
sure.
yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just gonna say we need, well, like really have to make sure that we ask her kind of what she's thinking.
Especially if the room is 10 by 10, for example.
Well, 10 by 10, I think would be too small for 4 artists. So I'm leaning towards 150 or 200.
Okay.
Okay.
But I think this will be a fun fair because I want there to be dialogue amongst all the artists, but also like that cross dialogue in that sense. As I think I'll draw the diagram. So it'd be you, Michael, with Madison, and then you, Edie, with Patrick. And I don't know what Patrick's going to do. So
Does Patrick have ideas?
He's actually probably leaning towards performance art, which is something which may or may not occupy any room.
But that might also, yeah, if he does perform, then that could be interesting with Michael's work as well, because
I think so.
That's an activation of the body. His sculpture will be an activation of the body. Like that could be interesting as well. So that'd be really fun.
Yeah, that would means the wall space, assuming this is kind of scenario we're going for, would be mostly Edie's video projections and works on paper.
But you know, actually, I don't know why in my mind I have an image of the video projection that is almost like the two screens are not freestanding, but they're like coming out of the wall. They're not on the wall. They're just kind of out. And then the image could be, instead of being the original image, it could be printed image in a format that works with everything else, you know, in terms of size, if everything is square or whatever. And those are also kind of linked by wires or something to the image. Like it becomes its own thing. Like it's a multi-tron
that would be
thing.
cool.
I mean, I imagine I could draw it and show you what I'm thinking, but I'm totally flexible. Like, if
if you have a sketch,
like
really cool.
If you have a
I'll do a
sketch,
sketch.
post it up
because I have to know that it exists.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think it would exist to do the screens like, I don't know, in position. I saw it somewhere, so I just have to look it up. But I'm gonna develop it so we can see if it works or if it should be more just flat wall unit thing, which is totally fine too, so not a problem. That's cool. That's gonna look really great all together. It's really fun.
I'm excited. I don't know how this is going to get reified yet, but we're
Yeah, I
gonna
think
find out.
I think it's gonna be super cool. What about satellite? Can we like actually call them and ask them about the square feet space delineation? Like,
They already have it on the application, so it's
Hmm.
just a matter of us selecting which one.
yeah,
we
but
want.
can we ask them like, do we get to choose what kind of dimension we want?
We do.
Like
on our
rectangle
application-
squares, like 8 by whatever, you
That
know.
we
Guys,
don't know.
I have to run. I have
Okay,
to go. I'm
go
very
ahead.
sorry, but thank you.
Bye.
It
No,
was
that's
super
okay.
We'll be
nice.
back next week.
Nice to
anyway.
meet you, Michael. Okay.
Nice
Yeah,
to meet
Bye,
you too. Bye-bye.
Edie. Have a
Bye.
good day.
Yeah, I
Yes,
think
you too, guys.
basically what we do is we'll select our booth size, but the thing is they don't even know because I don't even know whether they're going to repeat it in the Pfizer building. You know, it could be
Yeah.
a different venue. So
Well,
they
wait,
don't
can I
even
ask you a
probably.
question?
Yeah, go
Does
ahead.
if we choose the largest booth, right?
That's
And
300, which is pretty big and maybe
Yeah,
very
and-
expensive.
well, yeah, I mean that's also a thing, but I mean, are more people going to be applying for the larger space? Is it going to be more competitive to get into that space?
That I don't know.
I
I've
really
never-
think that we should consider that, because if we want to be a part of it, maybe we should try to be strategic with the spaces that we pick.
Yeah,
That's true.
maybe
Because
we
if
could-
there are going to be less
imagine-
people going after the medium spaces, and we're not sure if we can.
people
all
are going to go
fit
the
in small.
large ones. I think last time it was very competitive for the big ones.
Mhm.
You would think that they would offer less big spaces as well because
Yeah.
they're taking up more space. but I
Well,
don't
they
know.
also have something called.
It also depends on the building, so that's the other issue.
Yeah, they also
If
have
it's
something
not-
called an alumni rate. So if you previously shown there, you get discounted the more
Oh.
you show there. So I unfortunately I have no idea. This is kind of we're working in a vacuum, Michael. It's just like us applying for NADA. We just like our first application was rejected just because we didn't realize like how it worked. And now we have a better understanding of what to do,
Well, we're exploring new territory here, so you have to be willing to accept failure from time to time, I guess.
Yeah, even not just as
Yeah.
artists, but as gallery too.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So, but I do appreciate it. I think this is going to be a very exciting project.
I'm going to start doing some drawings and maybe prototyping, and maybe
Yes.
once I get into the Discord, we can start to kind of go back and forth to see, and maybe we should find out if the performance is going to be a thing, because if the performance is going to be a thing, chances are I'll be able to kind of fabricate the piece to be exactly his height, so that if he wanted
That
to use a
would
portal,
Be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, you can talk to Patrick. You can find his email, right? Or I can give it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's also CC'd on all the emails that I have.
That's
in
what
my
I
email.
meant. So you can,
Okay.
yeah, he's using his CalArts one the most. And then
And Bryce, I've never met you before. It's nice
I
to
know,
meet you.
it's
I'm gonna
nice to
let
meet
you
you
talk
too.
a little.
Yeah, how are you today?
I'm good. Just been kind
Good.
of crazy with school, but
Oh, don't
Are-
say
you
that.
go
You
to
just got an
school with-
A on a
with
paper.
Albert?
what?
You go to school with Albert?
Yeah, I'm at the
Nice.
U as well. So I'm doing an undergrad for art history and anthropology.
Great.
So yeah, I'm getting two things, a Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Arts, which Albert knows is killing me now, but it'll be worth it eventually.
Yeah. Once you're done, once you have it,
Then it's
But good.
masters.
That's
but
awesome.
Masters actually, surprisingly, even though it's maybe more intense, is actually not that bad. Because you get to do something, you get to focus on what you love doing
Exactly.
24/7. I mean, but I'm just going to say, I think it was good also to get feedback for that paper too. I mean, you did an initial reading with your group, and then I also,
Yeah, that was
Yes.
helpful.
yeah, but
Edie just read it too, which was cool, but
yeah, but I really think this is a lot of this, Michael, is a huge learning curve for us. Also,
Mhm.
next year, I think we definitely want to have like a solo show for you here in Salt Lake. Because by that time, hopefully everyone's vaccinated, so you can make a trip out here.
I would love to make a trip out there. I was actually talking to my mother about it recently, and she had gone to Salt Lake a number of years ago, and she said, I think you should go check it out. I think, you might like it, especially if you have people out there you can connect with. It might be something to look into. So
Yeah, and
I've
then
never
I
been. I know nothing about it.
not only that, also Philadelphia I love, but also like there might be different avenues for art practice here, especially with
Mhm.
nature and stuff.
Yeah.
And I can tell you definitely, like having lived in Philly, it's a lot cheaper to get materials here.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm dying over here with the price of wood. There's a couple reasons why I've
Philadelphia is
shifted towards
expensive for
drawing.
wood. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, lumber
Yeah.
went up. I don't know why. Is it just
It's
because they're not
because everything
producing?
that was in the building product industry, there was an explosion. So I actually work in the HR department of a manufacturing company, and we do building products, and we are 6 months behind in our orders because
Oh,
once COVID hit, everybody wanted to do renovations or restorations.
oh yeah,
So
because they all got
especially
bored.
lumber. So lumber went up, windows, doors, and anything that would be in home renovation exploded. So, I mean, that's why I'm focusing on my drawings, but the drawings are great because I'm going to be in a show next year called the Codex Project. So Strathmore kind of funds it. And so you have to fill up one of their entire sketchbooks, and my drawings take a long time, and it's a big sketchbook. So, I'm really focusing on the drawing for that reason, but also because it's a relief to not have to shell out all the money in the wood right now. And also the drawings that I don't want to include in that project, I've also been able to sell. And they're moving pretty quick. I think I made like $1,025 in a week and a half last month.
Damn.
I'm out of
Oh,
drawings.
yeah, I think it would be kind of nice for us to also have some drawings here in inventory
Yeah.
to show people. We actually have Chun's work up, and Bryce can obviously do like a Zoom walkthrough if you're interested in looking.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have a lot of space and a lot of storage, right, Bryce? I mean,
Yeah, it's awesome. There's plenty of like space. I haven't even seen the other storage areas, but
I would love if, even if it were next year, that would be fine to just send out a bunch of drawings and maybe just have a show of drawings or something with you guys.
oh
heck
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it'd be good too for your resume as well because we represent you. So, and that
Mhm.
will also give Bryce an opportunity to write about your work, because he could look into like not just minimalism, but also like the idea of craft, furniture making. The
Yeah.
fact that you lived in Pennsylvania, because wood is very important, has a history in Pennsylvania by far.
Mhm.
But I think it's also good too, to get a little vacation here, bring
Yeah.
your partner, and then she and you can enjoy out here. Because for maybe 1 or 2 weeks. Actually, what would be funny is maybe you could also, I don't know if you're into murals, but
I have been looking to get a wall for the
we
past like
actually
2
need
weeks.
we actually need artists. I mean, Chun's hopefully coming here, but we could use another artist that's not Chun to do our bathroom like mural,
Mhm.
or maybe some of the murals otherwise, and then you could actually focus and do something here as a project.
That would be great. Plus my job just gave me I was working, I've been there a year, and I had 1 day of vacation per year, and they bumped it up to 4. So, I could, and even my boss told me, if you want to take an extra day, take an extra day. So maybe sometime this year or next, whenever, honestly works
Do
best for
they
you guys.
add up year by year, or are you kind of forced to use it by the end of the year?
You're forced to use them in a year, but I mean, I also accrue PTO, and I do a bit of overtime too, so I accrue kind of quickly. So I mean, I have
Mhm.
8 days that I could use at any point now.
Well, if you have to
Uh,
use some vacation time for this year, maybe I'm going to get vaccinated. So maybe like around, I don't know, Christmas, you can hang out for 1 to 2 days, like even if it's short.
I'd be totally down
Because
for that.
Bryce and I are going to be here. I mean, Alexis is going to be moving to Scotland, but
Mhm.
we can say hi to her from Zoom. But it'd be a good idea to actually show you like some of the most pivotal contemporary spaces like UMOCA and
Mhm.
UMFA. Obviously, our gallery, we can show you some of the other galleries here too. So you get understand the layout of how Utah works. Because I'm going to be honest, and this is very potentially scary. So the way Utah is going to be like is like Utah, or Salt Lake City specifically, is like San Francisco during the early 90s,
Mhm.
when there really was no contemporary art scene. A lot of it was just Bay art. And,
Mhm.
Artists that just ripped off Richard Debecorn, basically.
Mhm.
So Bay Area figurative art was just pretty much predominant. Then all of a sudden, the tech industry changed it. People started moving to the Bay Area. Then guess what? Now we have like galleries that are very radical practice. I mean, obviously we still have traditional ones like Dolby Chadwick, but it's like there's already like 3 galleries consistently going to Art Basel from San Francisco. I see Salt Lake as being the next place because technologically wise, we have the Silicon Slopes. I see Lehigh. I mean, definitely the population percentage of more traditional Mormons have decreased substantially, and in about 5 to 10 years, people aren't going to see Salt Lake as like the Mormon town. It's like it's a tech sector, and our internet's very, very good here. So that's one indication of like the infrastructure is shifted, and also economically we're very strong. I see a lot of artists potentially moving and relocating here because they want to be in that dialogue with. Well, first of all, we have 2 big mountains, but we also have a huge lake that has a lot of land art. So there's a lot of like,
Yeah, the spiral jetty.
yes.
Yo,
Which is
that's also
amazing.
crazy. The guy I was talking to this morning, that's what he's been looking at. The first thing he said is, well, I have like a 4-ton crane. Do you think you could operate it? And I was like, probably not, but I'm interested in trying. And he goes, oh, I've been looking a lot at the spiral jetty. Like, he was like giving me facts, like, that it's not always visible all year round. And I was like, I was not, when he said land art, I was thinking like he was thinking like Andy Goldsworthy, but he was really thinking like spiral jetty. So it's so interesting that we're having
Spiral Jetty is
this
amazing.
conversation.
It is, but don't forget Michael Heiser too, who's done some stuff in Utah, but he's going to need some permits. He's not going to be able.
He's a pretty wealthy guy. I think he's he was like an environmental architect, and he bought an enormous building and renovated it, and he has a lot of land. And
Okay.
Yeah,
he
was talking
willing? Is he willing to? If he has a lot of money, is he willing to invest so that maybe we could have a little place here, like an artist thing, and then you could actually have like a second place here?
Well, you know what? I was asking him what he would be paying for an assistant in terms of hourly rate, and he was saying that he would be paying on the very low end hourly, and that it would be a lot of learning. So I want to assume that he's very frugal with his money, and that he probably wouldn't do that. But I mean, I'd be willing to ask him. I mean, today was our second conversation. We still haven't fleshed out.
But we don't need anything like fancy as hell. The thing is, all we need is just get a studio space. There's a ton. That for 600 you can get 2,500 art studio here.
Wow, that's very cheap.
Yeah, so if you want frugality, just come here. That's why I need you to get out here to like, I mean, not forcibly, but like to show you that this is not like, you can't do that in Philadelphia. There's no way you get $600 for 2,500 like square foot studio here.
Yeah, I mean, do they have running water and electric? Like, could I live in there?
They have internet. I wouldn't say. I mean, you could potentially live there if you have a cot or you buy IKEA stuff. They're not going to buy you that, just so you know.
Oh no, I know that, absolutely.
But definitely, you can make it like quite feasible. And then also, like Bryce and I live here, so we can work on trying to negotiate. Actually, Utah is very innovative because they have apartment workspace allocation that are combined. It's not that bad. Actually, it's very, very nice. So they actually have places which are specifically architecture for artists.
Yeah, it sounds like I have to get out there. I've been contemplating a move within the next couple of years.
Yeah, but this would be awesome too, because we would be close by. I mean, even though I leave for my MFA, I plan to be back here anyway. Because
where are you thinking?
I own a house.
MFA?
I don't know.
Where?
I'm going to apply to 24 places next year. So I will tell you when I finish. And it's just as bad of an experiment too, Because it's all political. You don't know which MFA program you'll get in.
You really don't.
There's no real metric.
Oh, well, unless you apply to PAFA, because they have a 90% acceptance rate. So you can usually count on it.
For me, like I'm going to places like Yale and RISD.
Yeah.
Like, and UCLA is actually my first choice. So, but I mean, UCLA would be nice because I could fly back and forth very easily. But Yale is no smarter when it comes to their painting program, because I'm interested in switching potentially from photography to painting. Not to give up photography, but because I love painting as well. Actually, I do everything, to be honest, as an artist. So
Are you familiar with Clint Giacala, his paintings? Because he went to Yale, and he's
Oh,
the
no.
he's the chair of the well, he's actually the dean of school at PAFA, and he graduated from Yale in painting.
I'll have to
And
check that out.
I was actually in a show with him at the Woodmere Museum over here,
Mhm.
and his paintings are I don't know what your taste in painting is, but I personally love them, and they
I'll have to
actually
check it
tie
out.
a lot. I think you should. They tie a lot because he thinks a lot about projection, and all of his compositions are actually supposed to be like eyes, or like eyes, or a person viewing a space, but it's so abstracted. The figure is so abstracted that it becomes
check
kind of
this
more of
out.
an icon of eyes. Yeah, it's Clint Giacala, Jukkala, something like that. Clint, Klint.
And then how do you spell his last name?
Let's see. Hold on. I think I let's see. PAFAKLINTJUKKAL. Okay, it's JUKKALN.
Oh, I got it. Bam. Luckily.
Yeah,
Oh,
some
yeah,
of these
this is
paintings
pretty dope.
some of these paintings look like the portals I had envisioned. Maybe
Oh, that is incredible.
maybe he kind of buried his composition into my subconscious, and that's what I was thinking about.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'll check his website too. Also, link that in our infamous Discord for reference.
I will, absolutely.
No,
But hey,
Michael.
bam.
I actually I want to
Okay.
get back because I have some family downstairs.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I would
yeah.
love to chat with you guys again, hopefully sometime this week. Just to
Yeah,
maybe
we actually
show
will
you
be
guys
doing
some
this once a
drawings.
week. But I don't know if you're having Sundays blocked for family.
Well, I do every other Sunday with the family. So, you know, I mean, I can always set aside some time, whether it be 20 or 30 minutes every week if I'm here. You know, usually I'm not.
Okay.
But it's actually convenient because my stepfather has his own business. So he has a small office I can use. It's a little bit of a mess right now, but if I'm going to be here for the meetings, I can just hop into his office.
Okay, that'd be cool. And then we could schedule something during the week as well, in addition. So we can.
Great.
The thing is, I'm done with final exams, but poor Bryce is tortured until May the 5th or the
Bryce,
3rd.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, because
me
your
too.
exams don't unlock. Like mine is like the guys just tossed it like a month before, gave us the topic, and I just wrote it.
It's because mine are all standardized tests. So,
yes, I didn't get
and
this.
they still gave us, like, I'm still working on course content this week.
Oh
and
yeah,
we
you have
have
20
study
videos a week to
finals,
watch.
like, it's ridiculous.
How do you
but
survive that, man?
I don't. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
sorry.
I don't miss school.
Yeah.
So I'm
Sorry,
glad
Michael.
to be hearing this. It makes me feel better about not being in school anymore.
Yeah. Well, Michael, thanks again.
Yeah.
And then we'll reconvene. We'll use the Discord as our juncture, and then we'll go from there. But thanks
Please.
again.
No problem. I'll be jumping into the Discord probably tomorrow. Because I just, you know, I have a very dark drive after I finish up here, so I'll probably get home and go right to bed. But I'll be hopping into the Discord tomorrow to catch up with everybody.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. And then I gave you the link so you can obviously cut and paste that. And
Great.
if you
Thank
want
you guys
to,
so much.
Yeah.
I can email or I can text that to you. But thanks
Yeah,
again.
please do text it to me because I'm not sure exactly how Zoom, like I didn't really use Zoom. I was at work the entire time. I was furloughed for 4 weeks, never had a Zoom meeting, and then immediately went back to work. So I'm not familiar with Zoom. But I'll try to pull it from the chat, but please just text it to me just for convenience.
Yeah, I will. Okay, I will
Thank
do
you,
that
guys.
right now.
Yep.
And thanks again.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you too, Bryce. Good luck with
Okay.
your exams.
Yeah,
Thanks.
take care.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.